Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Arts Council for Long Beach Professional Artist Fellows Technical Assistant Workshop. Presenting today, we have Lisa DeSmit, Director of Programs, and Sergio Alandias, Programs Associate. Down below at the bottom of the screen are ways that you can connect with us. Our mission at the Arts Council for Long Beach cultivates the physical, social, and economic characteristics of Long Beach neighborhoods by nurturing and enlivening the arts. Our vision at the Arts Council for Long Beach envisions a thriving Long Beach that benefits from universal participation in the arts. An overview of the Arts Council for Long Beach: we serve individuals, groups, and organizations through advocacy, arts education, public art, and grant making within the city of Long Beach. We practice profound inclusion as a collaborator and convener for the benefit of all communities. Before we get started, please locate the question button located at the bottom of your screen. It is in the black and white toolbar, and there is a Q&A underneath the icon. Upcoming events are the Make Music Long Beach, just today, and next Friday at Burnett Neighborhood Library is the screening of The Passionate Pursuits of Angela Bowen. And I'll leave it to Sergio from here.
Great, thanks, Judy. And thank you everyone for attending today. We will get started with today's presentation on the Professional Artist Fellows. I'll go ahead and start sharing my screen. Here we go. Great. So here we have some past Professional Artist Fellows, staff, and board members. So as to expect what's to come, they're at the exhibit that is part of the actual grant. But before we get into that, we'll go over the agenda. We'll go over the organization overview of the Arts Council, our other grants programs, how these funds are dispersed. Then we'll actually get into the actual Professional Artist Fellowship, eligibility, evaluation criteria, application steps. I'll hand it over to Lisa at that point, and we'll screen share the application, the artistic documentation, what to include, what to look out for, and we'll leave some time at the end for Q&A. So as Judy mentioned a little bit about us, we are the stewards of the diverse and thriving arts community of the city of Long Beach. We were formed by local leaders in 1976 who wanted to nurture, cultivate, and inspire the artists in our community. Our past and present leadership has stayed true to this mission. Today, our work ensures that established artists are supported, new artists are discovered, and that the arts, which are critical to a vibrant and diverse community, will always thrive in our city. Additionally, we are unique in our advocacy for the artists who enrich the quality of our lives, and our singular focus on making Long Beach a place that benefits from universal access to the arts. So a little bit about our annual grants. So we have the Professional Artist Fellowship, which everyone is here for today. On the right-hand side, we have the 2022-2023 Professional Artist Fellows. You could find this page on our website, and you could click on every one of those artists and learn more about them. If selected as one of the fellows, you will also be featured on our website and linked as there as well. We have the community project grant, where the Arts Council partners with arts and cultural organizations on their arts and culture educational programming. And then we have our operating grant 1 and operating grant 2 for any organizations with budgets that are larger or equal to $250,000. And then we also have our quarterly micro grants that are up to $1,000 and are dispersed to help artists and others looking to put on some arts programming that benefits Long Beach communities. You could find more information about all our programs at the bottom link right there at artslb.org/programs/grants. So a little bit about the Community Project Grant. This program supports the exemplary artistic, cultural, and arts educational projects here in Long Beach through our partnerships with the cultural and arts organizations. You see here on the right-hand side, we have Dolores Huerta by Violeta Rangel, and We Are the Seeds by Mer Young. Some murals and artworks have been created here in Long Beach. Our operating grants 1 and 2, they provide unrestricted operating support to Long Beach-based arts and cultural organizations whose primary mission is to collect, preserve, present, and/or commission exemplary works of art. For example, visual art exhibitions, theater, dance, or musical performances. Works of art must be of regional significance for the benefit of the general public and provide educational opportunities that enable audiences to better understand and appreciate the arts. Organization budgets must be over $250,000 annually to apply to operating grants 1 and 2. The Professional Artist Fellowship. This grant program recognizes exemplary Long Beach artists for their recent work through the Professional Artist Fellowship Awards. This grant is not project-based, but your recent work will be included in the Professional Artist Fellowship annual exhibit, which has an approximate runtime of 6 months. So how is this funding actually determined and how is it dispersed? The Arts Council for Long Beach staff first reviews the applications for eligibility and completeness. So we screen these applications, see if there are any documents missing, and if we see that things are missing prior to the deadline, we'll reach out, let you know. Then we review the review panels convene to review the actual applications once the deadline closes, and we compile everything, make sure that the ones being reviewed are eligible. The scores are merit-based and award levels are determined by scores, the amount of available funds, as well as the number of qualified applicants. Funding recommendations are made by the review panel to the Arts Council Board of Directors Allocations Committee. The Allocations Committee reviews these panel scores and rankings and then brings them to the Arts Council for Long Beach Board of Directors, who then votes and ratifies the funding levels. So all our grants must be approved by the Arts Council for Long Beach Board of Directors. In addition, applicants are notified once the Arts Council receives the contracts with the City of Long Beach. I can't see my bar, but it's sometime, I believe, here, I can't really see. In November and February. So now we're going to be diving into the eligibility of the actual Professional Artist Fellowship. So any eligible artist must be active Long Beach artists who live, work, or actively create in Long Beach and demonstrate an active exhibition and or production record of at least 3 years. As mentioned, awards are grant-based on artistic merit and professional achievement. The grant award amount is dependent upon available funds and the number of qualified applicants. Eligible applicants are required to meet the following requirements. So documentation of physical presence in Long Beach, be it a business license, home or studio proof of residence, or consistent pay stubs, and must receive payment and or serious critical recognition for some or all their artistic services or products. Ineligible applicants are full-time students, with the exception of post-grad students who have extensive professional experience and or serious critical recognition. Recipients of an Arts Council for Long Beach Professional Artist Fellowship within the last 3 annual grant cycles, or any active employees, board members, or contract employees of the Arts Council for Long Beach. As well as mentioned earlier, if you are applying to one of our annual grants, you could only apply to one of the grant categories, be it the Operating Grant 1, Operating Grant 2, the Community Project Grant, or the Professional Artist Fellowship. So if you are interested in those grants as well, make sure to read through the guidelines to see which best suits what you're looking for, and then determine from there which one you'll be applying to. Now, the evaluation criteria is based off artistic achievement, which is 15 points, as well as the background of the artist, which is another 15 points for a total of 30. So for artistic achievement, the artist's work reflects a high level of artistry or craftsmanship. Artist statements, resume, and artistic samples relate to one another. The artist statement engages the reader. It explains the goals and motivations of the artist's work and is clear and well written, allowing the panelists to really understand your message and statement. The background of the artist includes the formal artistic training, apprenticeship, or practice in the discipline, several years of productivity and achievement in professional venues, contribution to the local economy, be it by workshops, exhibiting locally, vending at various places, anything that contributes to the local community that you're part of. And now we're at the application portion of the Professional Artist Fellowship. So outlined here are the main points that you'll be filling out in the application. So that includes the artist profile, proof of Long Beach residency, including any of these following here, including valid California driver's license, US federal, state, or local government issued ID, utility bill that is dated within 90 days of the application deadline, business license, rental agreement, consistent pay stubs, or any alternate form of proof of living, working, or actively creating in Long Beach. If you have any questions pertaining to this, please let us know ahead of time so that we could help you with ample amount of time and finding any of those documents. You'll also be submitting artistic statements, arts equity and cultural inclusion statement, your CV or resume, including 2 letters of recommendation from professionals in your art form or forms, as well as artistic documentation that we'll be going over, which is really crucial to let the panelists know your art, see it, how it involves community and the greater local community as well. And a tip I have prior to actually starting your application, once we get there, is to start a Google Doc and copy and paste the questions from our application and answer it within that Google Doc. And once you know you're ready to submit your application, copy your answers there, just so that if anything happens, you have a backup in your Google Drive. So I'll hand it over to Lisa so that she could screen share the application.
Hi, everybody. I'm Lisa DeSmet, Director of Programs, and I'm going to show you how to access the application for the Professional Artist Fellowship. So you'll go to our website, artslb.org, and then you'll go to Programs, Grants, and then the Professional Artist Fellowship page is here. So as Sergio was mentioning, you can see all of our past fellows listed here, going pretty far back, so you can kind of get a sense of who's been funded in the past and what that looks like, and check out their bios and artist profiles. And then you're going to get to the page here where we have, we will be putting a link here in this spot to this, we're recording this workshop. So we'll have a link here in case you missed anything. We'll have that up on our YouTube channel. You can access our guidelines here. So if you want to read more into the guidelines, and then the actual application is here. So you'll click on that, and that will take you to our grants portal. This is a very important step. This is a new grant system for us. So if you have not applied for a microgrant or any other grant with us within the last 6 months or so, you will need to create a profile. So you'll need to create a user. It'll send a confirmation into your email. You'll need to check your spam. And if you do have any issues with signing in or password or anything like that, please email us. We can reset your password and go from there. So this seems to be the spot that a lot of people get caught up on, is creating that login. So once you log in, then you'll get to the application. This is where it's going to have me do the multi-factor. Where I've got to do my security code. So I'll get an email and I'll put my code in. So you're going to want to make sure that the sender is marked as not as spam, so you get those emails. And then you'll put your information in here. It's going to start with your profile. So your information, who are you? Where do you live? Address. Your email is very important. That's how we're going to communicate with folks on whether they've received the grant, and all communication moving forward for the grant will be to that email. So make sure it's an email that you check regularly and is a valid email. You'll put your mailing address here. We'll be asked to verify your artist website. We'll ask about what kind of medium it is. And then if you select multidisciplinary, you'll have a space to provide that. And then it'll ask if you have a profile with the artist registry. This is not required, but it is recommended because if you are selected as an artist, we do require you to create a profile if you are one of the fellows. So it's a great option to have. And there's lots of artists in the community that can speak to the fact of getting commissions and different work from having a profile. So again, it's not necessary. It's not going to affect your application at all. But if you don't have a profile and you're a Long Beach artist, highly recommend that. You can hit save and finish later, and you'll get an email confirmation if you do that. And then you'll just go through the tabs. So after you do artist profile, it'll ask for proof of residency. You'll upload that. It'll ask for your artistic statement, your equity and inclusion. You'll just go through the tabs. It'll ask for your CV or resume. You'll upload your artistic documentation. And so when I go there, it won't let me because I need to verify my email address. Let me do that really quick. Let's go to save and finish later so you all can see what that looks like. So here I'll see all the applications that I've attempted to here. You'll see them saved here. And you can go back into the applications that way. And so we're going to go to artistic documentation. Need to confirm my email. Next. And so then it's going to go through each step of the application again. I think it's going to let me go to artistic documentation. So let's just go there. I just really want to show first the artistic documentation section. So when you get to this section, it's going to have you choose a file. So you'll pick a file here. And after you've selected it, you want to definitely make sure that you click upload. That's really important. So it's not going to put it in the application if you do not hit upload. So that's very important that you're making sure that you click upload. Otherwise, you're going to get the message that said you don't have anything uploaded. And if it has an asterisk next to it, that means it's a required field. So that's how you submit the application. You'll get a confirmation email. If you do not receive a confirmation email, please reach out to us ASAP, hopefully before the deadline or as close to it as possible, because that means something might have gone wrong with the application. And I'll turn it back to Sergio, who will finish the presentation.
Great. Thank you, Lisa. Let me go ahead and start sharing my screen again. Okay, great. So now we'll be focusing on the actual artistic documentation portion of the application. So first is choosing what to submit. So you want to submit samples that are of high production quality in which your work can be clearly seen and heard. The sample should demonstrate your skill in the art form or forms, manifestation or treatment of ideas. Use excerpts from finished works completed in the last 2 years whenever possible. So artistic documentation is really, really important in showing the panel, you know, this is my work, this is what I've done in the past. You want to make sure that you document it in a really high quality manner to make sure that every detail of your work is seen. If it's a visual production, you know, you could submit links and stuff, but we'll get into that. So for the work sample description, an excerpt of the description is entered on the artist documentation index, which will be used to introduce your work sample during the panel review. You'll want to use a space provided in the actual application to contextualize each work sample by stating discipline-specific and pertinent information, including the title, the date, the venue, length of work, dimensions, and media. If the item was done as a work of collaboration, indicate your role, as well as explain the sample's relevance to your proposed project. But this is not a part of it. This is a part for the other grants. So we'll continue going. Work sample preparation instructions. So you'll want to use the following file format, where it's last name, first name, artistic documentation. For example, I use my name, so Diaz Sergio artistic documentation. All artistic documentation must be submitted as one PDF file with embedded hyperlinks to videos and audio files. If you need assistance with this, please contact us and we'll be able to help you out in compiling that. One PDF file does not mean that it's just one sheet. What we mean is just one file within your actual computer, but within that PDF file, it could be multiple pages, especially if you have visuals such as photos or photos of your other visual work. You won't want to send your originals or any copies, your only copies of documented work. You'll just want to actually submit copies of that. For visual and audio samples, number the samples in the order that they should be viewed / listened to. They should be reflected in the application and within the artist documentation index. And always test your final work in hyperlinks before submitting. Please make sure that they're not password protected. This is very, very, this happens very often where panelists aren't able to access some, visuals or any videos that artists might upload to YouTube and is password protected, or it's a private video, or also Vimeo and stuff like that. So always make sure that it's open to the public and it can be viewed. Video, provide an embedded hyperlink to any video sample. Video samples can be up to 5 minutes. We strongly encourage this for dance, multidisciplinary media, theater, as well as traditional and folk art. Audio, the same thing, provide an embedded hyperlink to any audio sample, be it Spotify, SoundCloud, Apple Music, YouTube, any of that sort. So this is strongly recommended for music. You'll want to list it in the following format where the number indicates the order of the files that they should be played in, as well as a title track. And you want to explain any special playback instructions, for example, starting at 4 minutes and then playing for a duration of 2 minutes, just to let the panel know, like, hey, this is the part I want you to see, and also so that it could speed along the process and the panelists don't have to go digging for the part that you're actually wanting to show them. For visual images, up to 10 images are allowed. For your artistic documentation, any digital files should be submitted in like PowerPoint presentation format, where it's 1 image per slide, including that title, the artist, and the date. You'll want to save this as a PDF. So if you are creating this in PowerPoint, you'll want to save that as PDF. And then also if you're doing other hyperlinks and stuff, you'll want to save that all within that one PDF and not submit to. Any publications, written work, you'll want to publish them as PDFs as well. So submit a sample of your literary copy in a PDF format. So we're just really looking to get everything within one document, easy to view for the panelists, and it'll benefit you as well, because then the panelists don't have to really interpret on their own. Here is the grant timeline. So the application deadline is July 17th, 2023 at 11:59 p.m. So if you are looking to get any assistance with the application, please keep that in mind. And we do work from 9 to 5 p.m. So keep that in mind as well. Our grant panels will be held in August 2023. The board will vote on the recommendations in September of 2023. We'll also be getting our city council budget. October through December, the city manager's office drafts the new contract, confirms the pursuit for arts funding, and establishes reporting deadlines. In January and February of 2024, the contract and first payment are distributed, and the grant period is from October 1st, 2023 to September 30th, 2024. How to apply, as mentioned, if you want to go directly to the Professional Artist Fellowship application and webpage, you go to artslb.org/programs/grants/professional artist fellowship. And now we'll be opening up the webinar to any questions. If anybody wants to ask anything, you're more than welcome to.
Yeah, so it looks like we're already starting to get some questions, so that's great. The first question is, do you have to be a Long Beach resident to apply? And if you want to go back to that slide, Sergio, where you talk about the different types of documentation. So for this grant, you need to either live, work, or actively create in Long Beach. That's how we define it. So there will be certain proof of documentation that we'll be asking for. So if you don't live in Long Beach, but you, let's say, work in Long Beach, then you could provide pay stubs. Let's say that you have a studio here, you could provide a rental agreement for the studio, or some form of documentation that shows that you either live, work, or actively create in Long Beach. So if you are unable to verify with one of these forms, please reach out to us and then we can talk about specifics of what that might look like and if you're eligible to apply. And then the next question is, are filmmakers eligible for these grants? Absolutely. And we actually have had many filmmakers in the past. Even this year, we have a filmmaker who's one of our fellows. So definitely we are very open and want to encourage all genres of art to apply. It's not just visual arts, it's all types of art. And we want to make that really clear. We've had poets, we've had filmmakers, we've had all kinds of different artists that have applied and actually received the fellowship. So those are the answers in the Q&A. If anybody else has a question, you can raise your hand if you'd like, or if you want to type it in the Q&A, just let us know. Looks like that's all the questions. I'm going to turn off the recording.